Remember a couple of episodes ago when Nathaniel says that he was a personal trainer and he's got zero tolerance for failure? Why is it only failure when somebody else is doing it? Tempting Fortune Season 2 Episode 6, and David isn't happy with Nathaniel. And when he was telling him, I couldn't stop laughing. Because he's like, I'm fuming, man. I'm fuming, right? And I was like, I am so animated. Like, see if I was fuming, I'd be like, I'm fucking raging. No, like whatever it was I was saying, right? He's obviously a vicar, but he's just so calm. I've got friends like this, and see when they're angry, I can't even tell. It's not until later on that they say, oh my god, I was fucking raging there, and I'm like, oh why, yeah, I didn't even notice. He was asking Nathaniel what his thought was behind bidding the 10,000, and he's talking shite, oh my social battery was flat, blah blah, talks utter shit, right? But it was even more annoying to me that he didn't take anybody. He's so fucking selfish. So the ATM challenge came up, and I had already seen a small clip, and I genuinely thought that the show was going to say, like, take however much you want, and I thought that dick is going to empty that machine. When it was Nathaniel's turn, however, it was like, oh, I feel like this is stealing. But he didn't think that bidding as high as £10,000 was stealing. It didn't make any sense. And as I mentioned in my last video, he told Vicky that he was on the show to get money for a family member's medical bills. If that was the case, would you not have sent yourself the money? And by the way, when this temptation came up, me and my friend were like 100%, at this point, everybody should take the £4,000 because at the rate they're spending, they're going to end up with nothing. So at least they'll have £4,000 to show for it. So I genuinely thought everybody was going to take the money except Hugo, because he spoke before about how money's no object and he doesn't really need it. So Trish, Nathaniel and Hugo didn't take any money. So it was time for Thomas, and I'm going to tell you something about Thomas. Now, he already thinks that I'm obsessed with him because I spoke about him for a total of 25 seconds in a 9.5 minute video, but we're here now, so we might as well talk about it. Plus, the chances of him seeing my video twice isn't very likely. It's not as if I'm going to keep coming up in his FYP. I don't know if I've mentioned this in a previous video, but when this show first started, I seen an article about where have you seen the Tempting Fortune cast before, because when I swipe left in my phone it comes up entertainment news, and for the life of me I am convinced I've seen Martha somewhere before. So I clicked on the article, I was scrolling down, and it says that Thomas has been on either 8 or 9 reality TV shows. So one of my friends had also seen the article, and then they seen a comment that he left about me being obsessed with him, and they messaged me and they says, oh my god, like that guy's in love with himself or whatever. And do you know, at first when I seen the article, I thought, oh my god, that is so cool, because he should make videos about like how to apply for reality TV, like the callback process, like the whole process, right? I would be fucking loving that, because to go on that many reality shows to me is so impressive. Even though I don't know what they were, right? That's not the point. But as you know, I love reality TV, so to me that's impressive. I want to know, was he scouted for them? Like, what was the whole process? Do you get paid to be on the show? Like, maybe they're not allowed to talk about stuff like that, right? But I would still like to know. So when he left the comment saying that I was obsessed with him after talking about him for 25 seconds, I thought, maybe he is a bit in love with himself. That being said, I can't remember what I said in that video because I've not got a very good memory, but I probably was calling him a cunt, as I usually do with people. So I don't suppose he would have been too happy about it. Anyway, point being, it was his turn for the ATM, and I thought, here he comes. He's going to take the £4,000. Even though I actually didn't think there was anything wrong with taking the £4,000. I thought everybody should have done it, but I was like, oh, here he comes, he's going to take the £4,000. And then when he didn't take anything, I was like, oh, maybe he is just there for the experience, after all. Maybe he's actually not talking shit. Because I tell you, I'd have been taking the £4,000. Anyway, it just goes to show you, people can surprise you right, left and centre in these things. Then it was time for Imani. Once again, I thought, right, she's going to take the money. She's already spent money. It's not going to make much of a difference now. They might as well all take it. And then she only took 1,500. That was crazy. I was quite surprised that she only took 1,500, but I was also more surprised that she lied about it, because she says, oh, like, they don't deserve me being truthful to them or whatever it was she said. But I'd have been like, I took 4,000 and what? He fucking spent £10,000 in a fucking coconut. To be fair, I'm quite a spiteful bitch that way. This is why when people are saying she's fiery, I'm like, I'm not saying it. She just doesn't take any shit. There's a vast difference. Martha, David and Henry, who for some reason I keep going to call Hugo, took 4,000, as they should. There's going to be nothing left. When it was Sam's turn, I actually says to my friend, you know what, see if she doesn't take this 4 grand, she better not moan one more time about people spending money. Because this is her chance to have cash. So if she walks away with nothing, it's going to be fucking ridiculous at this stage. She took the 4,000, thank God. Literally just like, as if she hadn't have took it, I'd have been like, I can't watch this. It was Tom's turn and he promised Hugo he wasn't going to take any more temptations. But once again, we seen him being impulsive and he pressed the button and then he felt bad. But I think that this is a bit different for a temptation because at the rate they're spending this money, I don't think they're going to have much left. He's going to spend 18 days away from his family, which doesn't seem like a long time to some people, right? But if I was away from my partner for 18 days, I could physically die. I know I'm quite dramatic, but I could. He spent time away from his family, and then he could walk away with nothing at the end of it. And that's not fair. When they were telling each other how much money they took, Hugo was upset that Tom took the money. And I know a lot of people were like, why was he crying? But I feel like it just felt portrayed because they've said before we're like brothers, we're really close. He helps me with my impulses. And he's saying, oh, I thought he had the same mindset as me. We came here and we didn't want to take any temptations. But at the end of the day, Tom's got a family. And I felt really bad for Hugo because I seen where he was coming from. But then he was saying, in the grand scheme of things, £4,000 isn't a lot of money. And while that is true, for some people £4,000 is not a lot of money. But for other people, maybe they want to take their partner away on holiday because they've not been away for years. Maybe they've got stuff that they want to buy for their kids. Like £4,000 can buy quite a lot. Now personally, if I had an extra £4,000 lying about just to spend right now, which I don't, I would be going to Vegas to see the Backstreet Boys in August. So to me, £4,000, fuck, I'd be taking it. So he had to think about it and maybe was away talking to somebody else about it. And he came back and he says, I understand that I'm privileged and people are here for different reasons. And some people are here because they need the money or like whatever else he was saying. And I was sitting with my pal and I was like, I actually love Hugo. And my pal says, if he takes a temptation, you're going to be raging. And I says, it's not even about him taking temptations or not. It's just about, I just think he comes across as such a nice person. So then they had to go hiking again and they had to cross that fucking mud. Was that a joke? They were telling people that were going on that show that they didn't have to be that fit. David nearly got fucking sucked into oblivion. So the silent disco came and I says to my pal, do you know what, this is a bargain. They're getting food and drink, they're getting to have fun. This is like a bonding moment, right? They should all do it. It's £400 each. Come on to fuck. But then Nathaniel was like, oh, we're all going to be hungover. It's not going to be a good idea. And the rest of them were like, oh, come on, stay. And I thought, these people, right, are so much nicer than me. Because if I was them, I'd be like, you're right, you've already spent 10 grand. Get yourself to fuck. But they were encouraging him to stay there and like be friendly with him. Oh God, I couldn't even spend 1 fucking minute with him in that place. Sam chose not to stay. And I felt as if she was just doing it to prove a point because she shouted at other people for taking temptations. She wanted to stay. If everybody done it, they were spending £400 of their own money. And I felt as if she was just doing it so that later on she could say, oh, well, I didn't do that. Tom clearly didn't stay because Hugo didn't stay. And even I was like, oh, come on, fucking hell, Hugo. Like, just stay and bond with everybody. I know that he'd have been feeling let down in himself, but he could have stayed there and not drank or anything and just like partied. But I know that he would have felt bad. And also Henry didn't stay. When they came back, they were all steaming. And Nathaniel was like, oh, I had this stick and I had this drink and blah, blah, blah. And the last time when Vicky was eating the chips and cheese, Sam was shouting at her saying, oh, you were gloating with your chips and cheese. He's standing there fucking blatantly gloating. And she didn't say fuck all to him. Anyway, let me know what you thought of that episode. Did any of them surprise you by not taking the money? Do you think they all should have stayed for the silent disco? I'll see you again at the weekend. Bye!